Joseph, thanks for your question once again. And how important is about, I believe your question means that how important is it to strategize as to what time and day works the best for a brand for any channels. Am I correct? Is that what you mean? Right. Okay. So in that case, yeah, that would be the part where we initially have the strategy. Let's take a very good example. If we are signing off with Talabot and we're going to be managing the social media presence. So the first stage would be where you have the analysis, and this would be exactly where you analyze as to what time and which day works the best for your brand. First of all, I would tell you, social media isn't something that you just do just for the sake of it. A lot of brands think of it that way. But that really is going to be your primary channel. If not today, give it a couple of days till you build a community, and that's going to be your primary channel. All your customer service queries are going to come in there. All your feedback from clients are going to come in there, and everything else. So it is very important to strategize as to which day and the posting times and day works the best for you. But this would come at the part where you're strategizing the initial strategy, after which you give it a, of course, it's going to be a bit of a split testing kind of a thing over the first month or so. But then eventually within a period of 4 weeks, you would have an idea as to what works the best for you. You know what visuals picks up the audience engagement rate and so on. Joseph, I hope that was quite clear. Right, perfect. So Shreyas, any other questions, or Joseph, do you have anything else in terms of Twitter? And so I can move on to the other platforms. Yeah. How to increase the engagement on Twitter? Well, I'll tell you, first of all, be active. I mean, be devoted to the channel. Don't just be there because everyone else is there. A lot of brands do that. You see automotive brands who have come into the Twitter front, and they've been there, they tweeted the first couple of months, and then they eventually couldn't keep up. It really doesn't work that way. I mean, if you're going to be on social channels, first of all, be devoted. You've got to spend quite some time in planning the strategy and not just be there just because you have to be there. So if you had to increase the engagement on Twitter, I would tell you, first things first, tweet regularly, give them value-added content, and try and keep it as a very engaging kind of a platform. I mean, you ask them questions, not just you doing a one-way kind of communication where they just come back to you and they'll be okay, yeah, that's it. So Twitter is more about conversations. You make conversations here using the right hashtags. You're going to use the perfect hashtags. Don't overload your tweets with hashtags. You see a lot of them doing that. I really don't believe in that. There are people, out of one tweet, you restrict to 140 characters, and then you have people who tweet with about 5 hashtags. And then all you're left with is maybe 30 characters to write your actual content. That really isn't a good practice on Twitter, but using the right hashtags definitely matters. And it's all about, how you talk to, you definitely have to be there listening to conversations as well. Because there are a lot of times when users are talking about your product, maybe not about your brand really, but it could be the same product which a competitor is offering. But there are times, when users are talking about it and they haven't really mentioned any brands there, this would be the place where you have to be proactive, jumping into the conversation and take over things from there. I mean, that happens quite often here in Bahrain. A very good example, Nissan and Toyota. They're head-to-head competitors, offering almost the same range of cars, almost at the same range of price as well. So I'll give you a very good example of that. I mean, we do have queries, from customers asking, as to which car do I go for, Toyota or Nissan. They haven't tagged any of the brands. It's all about which brand really listens, monitors conversations, jumps in, takes care of it first, wins the customer. So Shreyas, I hope I've answered to your query about what are the good practices and how could you actually increase engagement on Twitter organically. Okay, I do have another question from Nikunj. Are Facebook and Twitter the main social media channels, or should you focus on other channels as well? Nikunj, thanks for your question. I mean, I believe that's the first question from your side. Good job. All right, so let me tell you, the other platforms are important as well. So I would tell you that would actually change from brand to brand. So let's say, for example, if it's something which is a restaurant, and if you're being specific to Bahrain, Instagram works amazingly well. I know you don't really have call to actions on Instagram because the links aren't clickable and things like that, but you wouldn't believe on Instagram, you go to a coffee shop, you have people sitting with friends, and all they're doing is they're just scrolling through the Instagram feed. Instagram has become a really powerful channel here. But it again depends on your business. I mean, what exactly is your line? So if you're looking at a B2B, you're going to be more over on LinkedIn, I mean, rather than being on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, because you're not really looking to converse with users about your product. You could be on these channels to, just add in value. A very good example for that, I think, would be GE. GE Electricals. They've been there. Okay, Shreyas, I think first of all, I would first answer, I mean, Nikunj, I hope that answers to your query, Nikunj. All right, Shreyas, the next question I would like to take is your previous question asking, like, Instagram and Pinterest, how important are they? Instagram and Pinterest, like, I think that would pretty much relate to what I just explained to Nikunj, so I believe that's taken care of as well. The next question from you, should Talabat have a presence on Instagram? Yes, they do have a presence, and they are very much there. And let me probably get that in for you. Let's say Talabat Instagram, and there we go. Instagram has really picked up in the region. I would tell you Bahrain especially, but Instagram is something where you can run in competitions from time to time. And it's all about how you build a community there, because Talabat, I'm pretty sure, like right now it's because I'm from the PC, I can't really see who have tagged them, but I'm quite sure in the case of Talabat you would have users who get their delivered food, they take a picture of it and they tag the brand Talabat. So this, I would tell you, a very good example would be, I can tell you Nissan in Bahrain, because I know Nissan in Bahrain. They have actually built in a community more than just a brand, and you would see that they have a lot of user-generated content. Like a very good example being, okay, I think my internet's a little too slow, but you do see that these are pictures which users are our customers who have tagged in Nissan. I'm reposting it for them because Instagram is used as a platform where people like to flaunt out things, whether it's fashion, whether it's automotive, whether it's food, or whatever it may be. Like other examples of this, it's a user-generated content. So yes, very much. So Shreyas, I hope that answers your question. I know I went a little broader than your question, but yeah.